نالك في کربلائی طول زمان بکائی فتح یا حسین یا سیدہ شہدائی یا بے ابی شبح نوری قد کان لب الدہوری وبیت رب الظہوری خیول قوم النبوری وطنه باعتدائی والفتح یا حسین یا سیدہ هل مؤمن يتسالى هل كهذه جولا راس الحسين معلى على السنان تجلى لا له كذكاي ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيدة يا لهفة في التستير راس إمام الوقت وزد فوق تختي ينكت هزءا بنكتي ثغرا له ذا بهاي ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء ابكوا فهذا الرسول يبكي فهذه البتول وذا أبوه الجليل وذا أخوه النبيل في زمر الأعياء ولا فتى يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء فاطمة الزهراء تبكي والخضراء تبكي والغبراء ودعوة الغراء فابكوا أهل الولاء يا حسين يا سيد الشهداء نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء قلبي يذوب بذكره متباتلا نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء عليك يا ولي إلهنا عليك يا ولي إلهنا في كربلاء عطشانا صرت مقاتلا في كربلاء عطشانا صرت مقاتلا نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء بلغ سلامي يا نسيم بكربلاء بلغ سلامي يا نسيم بكربلاء شهداء طاف خاضعا متذللا شهداء طاف خاضعا متذللا نفسي تحج إلى الحسين بكربلاء قلبي ذوب بذكره متبادلا हाय करबला वालो हाय करबला वालो हाय करबला वालो हाय करबला ए खुदा के बंदों में मुंतखब खुदा वालो ए खुदा के बंदों में मुंतखब खुदा वालो तख्ते नमा वालो ताज हल अता वालो तख्ते नमा वालो ताज हल अता वालो शान मुस्तफ़ा वालो वदअ मुर्तज़ा वालो शान मुस्तफ़ा वालो वदअ मुर्तज़ा वालो क्या वफ़ा पे जाने दी क्या वफ़ा पे जाने दी तुमने वफ़ा वालो हाय करबला वालो हाय करबला वालो छोटे छोटे बच्चों ने जंग की इजाजत ली छोटे छोटे बच्चों ने जंग की इजाजत ली बढ़ गए जवां बनकर कम सिनी से रुखसत ली बढ़ गए जवां बनकर कम सिनी से रुखसत ली कौम की हिमायत में इज्जत शहादत ली कौम की हिमायत में इज्जत शहादत ली जिंदगी को क्या कहिए जिंदगी को क्या कहिए मौत से भी खिदमत. This Marsiya poem has been composed by the noble wife of Mawlana al-Muqaddas Syedna Qutbuddin As-Sayyidatul Fadila Mumineen Busaheba Sakina Aaisaheba. I am blessed. I am blessed when a tear for the love of Husain trickles down my face. I am blessed when the greatness of Muhammad fills my heart. I am blessed when the name of Ali is on my lips. I am blessed when I hold fast to the rope of Allah today. I was blessed when I was born. I was blessed in my youth, and I am blessed in my old age. And Allah willing, I will be blessed in my grave. Khayrul Anaam Muhammadun wa wasiyuhu al-baratu Zahra wal Hasanani qawmun bihim kushifal وبهديهم هدي الورى من حيرة الطغيان من لا تتم صلاتنا إلا بهم وبهم ينادى وتقول أذاني خزان علم الله مهبط وحيه والموضحون شرائع الإيمان علام دين الله أركان الهدى سفن النجاة دعائم الإيمان حبل الإله فمن تعلقه نجا وهوى مخالفه إلى الخسران ولقد وقفت بكربلا أفجددت كربي وأذكت في الحشا أحزاني وذكرت في عاشورا مسرع سيدي مولاي وأسفا على العطشان ولا بكي أنا على الحسين وصحبه بدم ودمع دائم تهتاني ولا بكي أنا على بنات محمد مسبية بالظلم والعدوان ما عذر أهل بيت محمد في الحشر عند الواحد الأماني صلى الإله على نبي وآله ما غرد القمري في الأغصان.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. به وبوليه وداعيه نستعين في جميع الأمور. الحمد لله وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. الله خير عما يشركون. بديع السماوات والأرض وإذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد حتى لا يبقى من الصلوات شيء. وسلم وبارك وارحم وترحم على محمد وآل محمد حتى لا يبقى من التسليم والبركة والرحمة والترحم شيء. كما صليت وسلمت وباركت ورحمت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بالميم والعين والحائن والفاء نيلي لما أنا راجيه وإلفائي. بالخمسة الحجوب اللاتي بها احتجبت ذات الذوات فأبدت نور الأعلاء مطالع النور من كان الظهور بها. للمنصت السامع الواعي وللرائي تلك المقامات عند العارفين بها. وسيلتي في معادي يوم رجعي. أبا محمد الحسن يا عارض القدس الهتن. يا ابن رسول الله يا حديقة الخلق الحسن. مولاي مولاي الحسن عبدك هذا فارحمن. اكشف له ما كان من شجن به ومن شجن. حبك لي مولاي من نار لظى أوق الجنن. أرضعت من فاطمة الزهراء للوحي اللبن. إمام حق للمهيمن العزيز لم يخن. مستودع السر الإلهي الأمين المؤتمن. لاهوته ناشوته كلاهما صفو الزمن. ابن رسول الله من في ربع رتبته أبن. بذكره قلوب قوم تابعوه تطمئن. به دماء المسلمين أن تراق قد حقن. لنعم روح منفس قد ضمه ذاك البدن. ونعم ذاك بدنا قد ضمه ذاك الكفن. كيف أتت شقية تمنعه لما دفن. الحسن الحسين صنوه وقد حاز الحسن خامس خمسة لهم بين السماوات السكن أعقابهم أئمة بإرث مجدهم قم لهم دعاة هم لتخليص الورى نعم السفن سيوف آل المرتضى من أرض هند ويمن هم عدتي في شدتي هم ملجئي لدى المحن صلى عليهم ربهم ما النجم في السماء عن وظائفنا تسبيح أسمائكم أيا بني المصطفى دابا ونعم الوظائف بتعيدكم نستيع درس علومكم وتقوى على التقوى قوانا الضعائف وطول بقاء الفخر فينا فإنه لقطب الهدى والدين برهانه الأقوى فأبقاه رب العرش في كل نعمة وأعداؤه بالنار جبهاتهم تكوى وصلى على طه وعترته الأولى هم النعمة العظمى هم الغاية القصوى يا إمام الهدى أقم عمادي واجعل التسكين في خلدي لست معتمدا على أحد ليس إلا عليك معتمدي وأتيتك يا ابن فاطمة مستمدا فأوفني مددي مؤمنين مؤمنات worshippers of Allah Ta'ala, those whom the Almighty has addressed in the Quran Majid and said, Inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum banna lahumul jannah. Mumineen, we are those who have surrendered our lives, our souls, our livelihoods to the Almighty in exchange for His promise for jannat. Mumineen, this promise is made in the Quran Majid. It is made by Allah's messenger who delivers Allah's promise. We are worshippers of Allah. We are the Ummat Khasa, those who declare and believe in the prophethood of Muhammad, that Muhammad is the Almighty's messenger. He is Sayyidul Anbiya. He is the master of all the messengers. Khatamun Nabiyyin, he is the seal of all the prophets. We are the Shia Khulasa, the sincere Shia followers of Rasulullah's successor, Amir al-Mumineen, who delivers that promise of Jannat, of paradise, of afterlife, eternal life. We are followers of their successors, Muhammad and Ali's successors, through Fatima. The Imams, the first of whom is Hasan Imam alayhi salam, in whose majlis we are gathered today. A Mustaqar Imam, the first Imam, and his brother, his successor, Husain Imam, for whom Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, Al-Hasan wal-Husainu Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. Hasan and Husain are the masters of the youth of paradise, the youth of Jannat. And their successors, one Imam after another, sons of Hasan and Husain. The Imam, each Imam is the son of Banjatan, the son of Hasan and Husain. Hasan Imam's daughter married Ali Zainul Abidin. And so all the Imams afterwards are the sons both of Hasan and Husain. Yeah, Syedna Taher Fakhruddin refers to this in his Qasida. Ya Salil al-Husayn wal-Hasan al-Tuhri alladhi hiza fihima hawayahu. Addressing the Imam, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin says, you are the successor of Hasan, Husain and Hasan. And encompassed in you is what they both attained. Hasan and Husain, Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. Imam, successor of Hasan and Husain, is the master of the youth of Jannat. Until the 21st Imam, Tayyib Imam, Abul Qasim Amir Mumineen, his successors one after another until the Imam of our age. Tayyibul Asr, Waliyul Fath wal Nasr. The Imam, successor of Hasan and Husain, is present on the face of this earth today. The Imam conveys the promise, Allah Ta'ala's promise, that you will attain Jannat if you follow the Almighty. If you believe, declare the oneness of the Almighty, follow His messengers, you will attain Jannat. You will fulfill your purpose. That promise is conveyed through the messenger, Rasulullah, and his successors in every day and age. And in the Imam's seclusion, the 21st Imam entered into the cave of seclusion after his father, the 20th Imam, Imam Amir bi Ahkamillah, established the succession of Duaat Mutlaqeen to ensure that Allah Ta'ala's promise would be conveyed. That offer to accept Allah's message, to accept, enter His da'wat, and to attain salvation would be offered in every day and age, to every people. That is Allah Ta'ala's justice. The first da'i, Syedna Zoed bin Musa, appointed by the 20th Imam's Nas through his Hujjat, Mawlatuna Hurratul Malika, with the entrustment that one da'i would not pass away until appointing his successor. Until the 51st da'i, Maulana Tahir Saifuddin, his successor, Maulana Muhammad Burhanuddin. Their successor, the 53rd da'i Mutlaq Bawaji Sahib, Maulana Husain Qutbuddin Ridwanullahi alayhi majma'een. And their successor, Imam Zaman's da'i, our Aqa, our Maula, the da'i of our age, da'i al-Asr, Syedna Maulana Abu Husain Taher Fakhruddin Atar Allah Baqahu Sharif ila Yawmiddin. Mumineen, Muminat. Allah Ta'ala's promise that you surrender your soul, your lives to the Almighty by giving misaq, by accepting that you will believe what they believe, that you will follow their guidance. That is what misaq is. And in return, the Almighty, Banna lahumul Jannah, Allah Ta'ala promises you Jannat, eternal life, a life without, your life is not devoid of pain, no matter how wealthy someone is, no matter how healthy someone is. This life is not devoid of pain. Allah Ta'ala promises a life that is of absolute peace, sukoon. Allah Ta'ala promises a life here, every life ends in death. There is no death, there is no end. Mumineen, Muminat, we offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala that we have surrendered our souls in that sense, that we follow our Imams, we follow their guidance. We have submitted to Allah Ta'ala's will. That is the meaning of misaq. At the hands of Allah's messengers, His successors today, the Imams da'i today. By virtue of doing so, Allah Ta'ala's promise of Jannat, of salvation is for us. Mumineen, Maulana Imam Muhammadul Baqir, Salawatullahi alayhi, says, that each one of you, addressing his Shia, Mumineen, the Imam says, each one of you will be rejoicing, will be happy, most happy, when your soul, as it is exiting your body, will reach here. Imam alayhi salam pointed to his throat, in your last breath. At that time, Imam alayhi salam says, the Malakul Maut, the angel of death, will descend. He will tell you, Amma ma kunta tarjuhu faqad u'titahu. What you wish for, your wish has been fulfilled. وَأَمَّا مَا كُنْتَ تَخَافُهُ فَقَدْ أَمِنْتَ مِنْهُ. What you feared, you have been safeguarded from. He will see. Mumineen, Imam alayhi salam draws this image. This is all spiritual, it is not physical, but to enable us to see what is in store for us. Imam alayhi salam says that وَيُفْتَحُ لَهُ بَابٌ إِلَى مَنْزِلِهِ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ. A door will be open for him to paradise, to jannat, to his home in paradise. The angel of death will tell him, Unzur ila maskaneka min al-jannah. Look at where you will reside in jannat. This is where you will stay. And then the angel will say, وَهَذَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَعَلِي وَفَاطِمَةَ وَالْحَسَنُ وَالْحُسَيْنُ هُمْ رُفَقَاؤُكَ. And here are your companions here. Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hasan and Husain. Imam alayhi salam says, this is Allah Ta'ala's promise. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ لَهُمُ الْبُشْرَى فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. This is before the soul leaves the body. The Imam says the ayat, the Quran Majid ayat that the Imam cites here, that those who believe and have piety, maintain Allah's taqwa and piety, they have bushra, bisharat, glad tidings, fil hayat dunya, in their lives and in akhirat and afterwards. Mumineen, muminat, we offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala. In another riwayat, the Imam alayhi salam says this, that at that time, he will be told that this is your abode, this is where you will be in jannat. Now, if you wish, you can return to your life on earth and you can attain all the gold and silver, everything that you want. At that time, seeing the Almighty's promise fulfilled, the mu'mina will say, his eyes will tear up at that time. And he will say that I wish for jannat now. I have no interest in this world. Mumineen, muminat, this is Allah Ta'ala's promise. This is his awliya's promise, who convey Allah's promise to us. Inna Allaha la yukhliful mi'ad. The Quran Majid says that Allah Ta'ala will never betray his promise. Mumineen, for us, for a mu'min, death, it is said, al-mawtu rayhanatul mu'min. Death is a fragrant end for a mu'min. It is where his eternal life begins. It is where the true life begins. Mumineen, muminat, our hudat kiram, through their words and their actions, have reminded us always of the hereafter, akhirat, about the imminence of death, about what we must do to prepare for it. In these days of Muharram, we remember Aqa Husain day and night. Husain Imam alayhi salam, when he left Medina for Makkah, and then from Makkah, he headed to Kufa. As you often hear, the people of Kufa asked Aqa Husain, requested Aqa Husain, that we ask you to be amongst us. We will give you bay'at, misaq, we will support you. We will answer your call and da'wat. Many feared that the people of Kufa, as they had betrayed Maulana Ali, they would also betray Aqa Husain. Well-wishers such as Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya, Husain Imam's brother, as he was leaving Makkah. Amir al-Mumineen's son is Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya is not the son of Mawlatuna Fatima, from another mother. Husain Imam, when he left Makkah, when he left for Kufa, he made Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya his mustawda, gave him the responsibility to conduct the affairs of the Dawat in his absence. When Zainul Abidin then returned, Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya returned his entrustment to Ali Zainul Abidin. Now when Husain Imam left for Kufa, Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya very vehemently submitted to Aka Hussain, don't go to Kufa. He feared what the people of Kufa, he feared the betrayal of the people of Kufa. Imam alayhi salam at that time says, Samdi wa ma fil mawti aarun ala al-fata, idha ma nawa khayran wa jahada muslima.
سأمضي وما في الموت عار على الفتى إذا ما نوى خيرا وجاهد مسلما.
Imam alayhi salam says that I have intended to go, I will proceed. And in this bait, this verse, it is clear that Imam Husain alayhi salam is very aware that what lies in Kufa or on the way to Kufa in Karbala is death, which is why he said, I will proceed. وَمَا فِي الْمَوْتِ عَارٌ عَلَى الْفَتَى. There is no shame in death if one intends good, if one fights being a Muslim, being a mu'min. وواس الرجال الصالحين بنفسه وفارق مثبورا وخالف مجرما فإن عشت لم أذمم وإن مت لم ألم فإن عشت لم أذمم وإن مت لم ألم كفى بك عارا أن تعيش وترغما. Mumineen, in Karbala, there are lessons for us. Husain Imam says that if I live, I know that death is possible. It is not that I do not know the nature of the people of Kufa, what Yazid, the army, Yazid is amassing. I proceed very aware of death. If I live, I have done my duty, I have answered the call. And if I die, I have done what I had to. The worst, kafa bika aaran an ta'isha wa turghama. The worst is this. The most shameful is this, that you live, but you live under duress and force, without the right choice. Mumineen, Allah Ta'ala's awliya, they have always made their choices aware of the dangers ahead of them. But in the path of Allah, for establishing Allah's da'wat, for our salvation, they have never feared death. Because they are most certain. Their conviction, their yaqeen is absolute in Allah Ta'ala's promise. Mumineen, on the eve of Aashura, it is narrated that on the 9th of Muharram, today is the 9th of Muharram, Yazid's commander in Karbala, he and his companions came charging and stood at Husain Imam's encampment, his khaymaga. Abbas, Husain Imam's brother, Abbas Alamdar, Husain's standard bearer, flag bearer, came out to meet them. Yazid's commander conveyed to Abbas that we have now received instructions that either you submit to Yazid or that we are to engage in battle with you till death. Mumineen, as you are aware, Husain Imam, there were only 72 left with Husain. And by that time, by the 9th of Muharram, thousands had gathered in Yazid's army. What they were coming and threatening with was not a fair battle. They were coming and threatening execution. And what brutal execution. After 3 days of hunger and thirst, of not only fighters and soldiers, but of Husain Imam, elders with him, children with him, Rasulullah's, Fatima's daughters with him. Mumineen. It is said that Abbas Alamdar returned to Ata Hussain, said that this is what they are saying. Husain Imam said this. Mumineen, even in this difficult time, this is what Husain answered. Abbas, go back to them and say that give us 1 night of respite, Mohlat. Ask for 1 night so that this last night, Husain is aware that tomorrow is now near certain death. This last night we will spend in worship, in prayer, beseeching Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness for us and for the Shia till the day of judgment. Abbas came and sought that respite. The commander hesitated. His companions told him that if we are fighting against Turks and Dailam, we give them respite if they ask for a night. Will we not give that respite to Rasulullah's son? Mumineen, it is narrated that they left for the night. Abbas returned to the encampment. Husain Imam gathered his Ahl Bayt and Ashab, delivered a khutbah. In that, Husain Imam alayhi salam began with the praise and thanks of Allah Ta'ala. Nahmaduhu fi sarra'i wa darra. At all times, times of ease and happiness, times of difficulty and despair, we praise and thank Allah Ta'ala. Mumineen, this praise and thanks even in this time is because of yaqeen and conviction in Allah's promise. Husain, as you have heard in a previous majlis, told his ashab that if you wish to leave, take my children and leave. The Yazidi army, Yazid, is thirsty for my blood. The ashab Ahl Bayt replied that we will never leave you. Mumineen, that night, Aqa Husain spent in prayer. He instructed that all the encampments should be brought closer together for protection should the Yazidi army attack at night. It is narrated that in that night, Husain Imam to his servant June gave his sword, that sharpened the sword. As the sword was being sharpened, Husain Imam prayed these verses, recited these verses. Ya dahro, uffin laka min khalili, kam laka fil ishraqi wal asili.
Ya dahro fin laka min khalili, kam laka fil ishraq wal asili.
Husain Imam addresses fate and says, Fate, you are a wretched friend. Every dawn, every eve, how many lives do you take? He continues after some verses, وَإِنَّمَا الْأَمْرُ إِلَى الْجَلِيلِ وَكُلُّ حَيٍّ سَالِكٌ سَبِيلِ. Husain Imam says, but the final decree of death when one dies belongs to Allah Ta'ala, the most sublime. And every living being must walk this path at some time. Everyone will meet that death. Mumineen, in Karbala, in Laylat Aashura, Imam Ali Zainul Abidin narrates this, that I heard these abiyat, I heard Husain Imam reciting these verses. I realized that now tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is Ashura. Husain Imam is conveying that this is the final night. Zainul Abidin says that I maintain sabr. As you know, Ali Zainul Abidin was unwell. That is also in Allah Ta'ala's hikmat, His wisdom, for he is to succeed Imam Husain. Zainul Abidin says that my aunt, my Fai, Zainab, was taking care of me, of my ill health. She heard these verses. I maintain sabr, forbearance. Zainab could not. She realized what Husain was saying. She left my bedside, rushed to Husain's khaybar. She rushed in such a panic. Zainul Abidin says that her veil fell down. She rushed to Husain and said, Wa'alakla. Layt al-mawt adamani al-hayat. I wish. Zainab wished that she had died before this day. Before she saw this day. What are you saying, Husain? Today, when you say this, it is as if my mother Fatima passed away today. As if Rasulullah died today. As if Hasan and Ali were killed today. Ya Thimal al-Baqin, Ya Khalifat al-Madin. O successor of those past, O refuge of those who are to follow. You were there, all the Panjatan were there. What will we do after you? Ya Husain.
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 Ya Husain. Ya Husain. Ya Husain. यही लिखा था किस्मत में, यही लिखा था किस्मत में, के आए मौत गुर्बत में, के आए मौत गुर्बत में, हमारा देखे कर लाशा, हमारा देखे कर लाशा, बहन ज़ैनब ना घबराना, शहे वाला ने फरमाया, बहन ना घबराना, कयामत की घड़ी होगी, कयामत की घड़ी होगी, अजब होगा वो मंजर भी, अजब होगा वो मंजर भी, फलक से खून बरसेगा, फलक से खून बरसेगा, बहन ज़ैनब ना घबराना, शहे वाला ने फरमाया, बहन ज़ैनब ना घबराना, बहन हो एक साबिर की, बहन हो एक साबिर की, मुसीबत की हो तुम आदी, मुसीबत की हो तुम आदी, हमेशा सब्र ही करना, हमेशा सब्र ही करना, बहन ज़ैनब ना घबराना, शहे वाला ने फरमाया, बहन ज़ैनब
Garan Husain, mourners of Husain. Zainab, saying this, fell unconscious next to Husain. When someone becomes unconscious, we sprinkle water to awake them. But alas, in Karbala, there is no water. It is narrated that Husain shed tears, with his tears, sprinkled them on Zainab's face. As she regained consciousness, Husain Imam said, my beloved sister Zainab, remember Ma Fatima, our mother Fatima, sabr, her forbearance. Husain Imam brought Zainab again to Zainul Abidin, sat her next to him, said that if you do not maintain sabr, who will take care of Ali Zainul Abidin? Azadaran Husain, The entire night, Husain, his Ahle Bayt, his Ashab, spent in prayer. Mumineen, tonight is Aashura night. Our Hudat Kiram urge us that as much as you can, spend the night in prayer. Pray Nisful Layl if you can. At least do dua after Maghrib. From Maghrib tonight, Laylat Ashura, until Maghrib tomorrow, the end of the day of Ashura, with every breath, do tasbih of Husain. Remember Husain. Mumineen, Husain's Ahle Bayt, Ashab spent the night in prayer. It is narrated that some who passed by next to the encampment, throughout the night they heard, it is said, as if it was the buzzing of bees, people in prayer, in worship. Mumineen, these Ahle Bayt, Ashab, Husain's conviction in Allah Ta'ala's reward and promise is absolute. But Husain's companions, his Ahle Bayt in Karbala, their station is so high. In a worldly context, in such calamitous times, they remain steadfast with Husain because of their belief in Allah Ta'ala's promise, because of their belief in Aqa Husain, his promise. It is narrated that when Husain Imam alayhi salam that night brought the tents closer together, he heard that his Ahle Bayt, his Ashab, his companions were praying in prayer. Mumineen, it is narrated that two of Husain Imam's Ashab, Barir al-Hamdani and Abdul Rahman al-Ansari, they were together in their prayers, in between their prayers. Abdul Rahman, Barir was laughing and joking with Abdul Rahman. And he was putting on himself fragrance, kasturi, misk, offering it to Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman asked him, in such a time, you are making light, you are putting fragrance, perfume. Barir says, I am doing so because I am rejoicing. I am rejoicing about where we are going. فوالله ما هو إلا أن نلتقي هؤلاء القوم بأسيافنا. Tomorrow we will face these people, the Yazidi army, with our swords. We will strike them for the hours that we can. And then we will enter paradise and embrace Hurul Ain. Mumineen, such is the conviction, strength of belief of Husain's companions in Karbala. We draw strength from them. We speak of the philosophy of remembering Aqa Husain. From their conviction, strength, their belief, we reinforce and strengthen our belief, our conviction in Allah Ta'ala's promise. Mumineen, it is narrated that the Shuhada and Ashab of Husain in Karbala, the sweat of their horses did not dry, but they were in jannat. May Allah Ta'ala salawat and salam shower upon Aqa Husain, his Ashab and Ahle Bayt of such high station and shan. Ya Husain,
Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, हक पे मरने वालों ने जान दी सलीक़े से, हक पे मरने वालों ने जान दी सलीक़े से, शौक़ से तमन्ना से, अज़्म से इरादे से, शौक़ से तमन्ना से, अज़्म से इरादे से, माँ की गोद से कोई आया कोई झूले से, माँ की गोद से कोई आया कोई झूले से, जिंदगी न की प्यारी, जिंदगी न की प्यारी, फातिमा के प्यारों से। हाय करबला वालों, हाय करबला वालों, किस बला के जंगल में आले मुस्तफ़ा ठेरी, किस बला के जंगल में आले मुस्तफ़ा ठेरी, आयशा में आशूरा सुबह को वगा ठेरी, आयशा में आशूरा सुबह को वगा ठेरी, क्या खबर मदीने को शामियों से क्या ठेरी, क्या खबर मदीने को शामियों से क्या ठेरी, बेदियार का मदफन, बेदियार का मदफन, अर्द करबला ठेरी। हाय करबला वालों, हाय करबला वालों, कोई तुम में असगर था, कोई तुम में अकबर था, कोई तुम में असगर था, कोई तुम में अकबर था, कोई सानिए जाफर, कोई मिस्ल हैदर था, कोई सानिए जाफर, कोई मिस्ल हैदर था, कोई कद्र कीमत में दो जहां से बरतर था, कोई कद्र कीमत में दो जहां से बरतर था, ज़ेर तेग सुनते हैं, ज़ेर तेग सुनते हैं, फातिमा का घर भर था। हाय करबला वालों, हाय करबला वालों, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन।
Daran Husain. In this Mubarak Majlis on the 9th of Muharram, we recite this ayat from the Quran Majid. Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. We spoke of the promise of the Almighty, the promise of reward, the promise of the hereafter, the promise of return from this ocean of matter, from this sea of material existence to our origin, to the celestial realm, Alam al-Quds. The Quran Majid says, speaks of this promise of return. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. The literal meaning of this, surely, certainly, the Lord Almighty who has ordained the Quran for you, who has revealed the Quran to you, will ultimately have you return, will ultimately ensure your return. Ma'ad is return. Mumineen, seeking Allah Ta'ala's aid, His Wali Imam Zaman, His Da'i's aid and yari. I will do bayan of the meaning of this verse. Some aspects, some glimpses. The literal meaning is clear, that the Lord who revealed the Quran, the ayat addresses Rasulullah. The Lord who revealed the Quran to you will ensure your return. La radduka, there is an emphasis, la, will surely ensure your return. Mumineen, Muslim exegetes, they understand this literally. They explain it by saying that, look, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam established Islam in Makkah. Then, due to the difficulties, he had to migrate. He had to leave Makkah, his homeland. And he went to Medina. As you heard in the previous Waaz, previous majlis, the people who accompanied Rasulullah, the Muhajirin, the migrants, those who were first to answer Islam, left everything they had in Makkah. So did Rasulullah. His home, his wealth. So the Muslim exegetes explain this ayat saying that this is Allah Ta'ala's promise to Rasulullah, that you have had to leave Makkah, we will ensure your return to Makkah. Our Hudaat Kiram explain that if this is simply the meaning, yes, Rasulullah did return to Makkah. Rasulullah, as you heard in the previous majalis, after his migration to Medina, after many battles, after a peace treaty, and then when the mushrikeen of Quraysh renegade on the terms of the treaty, Rasulullah then declared war, Bara'at. And then Rasulullah, the time of Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, the time that Rasulullah had spent during the time of peace, he had spread the da'wat of Islam so that many other tribes had joined in the meantime. And then Rasulullah led a strong army and returned to Makkah. And he conquered Makkah anwatan. Without battle, the army was so strong that they finally decided to surrender. And as you heard, then Rasulullah entered the Kaaba, removed the idols from the Kaaba. For so many years, Mumineen, this is dunya, this is the material world, this is Dorus Satar, the era of Satar in which evil, as I have said in the past, is given free rein. The Mustaqar Imam was in Makkah for so many years, and yet Baytullah, the house of the Lord, had idols on it. It was destined that Rasulullah would conquer Makkah and remove those idols. But now our Hudaat Kiram explain the true meaning, and there are many meanings of this, Mumineen. I will give only a glimpse of it. Maulana Tahir Saifuddin did this bayan. He explained 7 different aspects of this ayat. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if this was the explanation simply as the Muslim exegetes say, Rasulullah, after conquering Makkah, chose not to remain in Makkah. In fact, he then returned to Medina. Our Hudaat Kiram explained that Baytullah was built by Ibrahim. It is the Qibla of the Dawat of Ibrahim. And Rasulullah then returned to Medina. Mumineen, the return that is promised here, Laradduka ila Ma'ad, Rasulullah's Ma'ad, his ascension to the heavens. That is explained in the books of higher learning. Haqiqat, for those who are fortunate to make the effort, go through the stages and learn, that knowledge is reserved. Today we speak of return, the promise of return for Rasulullah. Laradduka ila Ma'ad, that the Almighty will ensure your return to your heavenly abode, to Alam al-Qudus. But with you, He will ensure the return of your ummats, those who follow you. In the word Ma'ad, Laradduka ila Ma'ad, before we explain some of the other meanings of that word, we recite this ayat when we go for ziyarat to Karbala, Najaf, Madina Munawwara, Rasulullah ziyarat, or other ziyarats of Aimmat Tahirin, Duaat Mutlaqeen. In the last Wada, farewell ziyarat, our Hudaat Kiram have taught us that recite this verse. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila Ma'ad. For many years, we were fortunate to do ziyarat in Karbala, in Najaf Ashraf, of Rasul Husain in Misr many, many times. Babaji Sahib had sent us, many of my brothers and sisters, to learn Arabic, pursue our degrees in Misr. And Maulana Burhanuddin Aka visited very often. So in the last ziyarat, I remember this from childhood, Maulana Burhanuddin Aka, before exiting the haram, would recite this ayat, Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. Your Lord, who has revealed the Quran to you, will ensure your return. Praying this ayat at the time of wada, of the farewell ziyarat, is with the intention that inshallah we will return here again soon. Mumineen, Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. Allah Ta'ala's promise, the Lord who has revealed the Quran to you will ensure your return. Ma'ad. This promise is made by the Almighty, by His Messenger, by the Imams, by the Duaats. And so the word Ma'ad contains references to all those who deliver Allah's promise, who remind us of our return. Ma'ad, 4 letters. Mim. Mim is for Muhammad. Muhammad Rasulullah is the one who calls us to the hereafter. You heard in a previous majlis, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu istajibu lillahi wa lirrasuli idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. Answer Allah and His Messenger's call when He calls you to that which will give you life. Rasulullah calls us to our return to Ma'ad, to return to our origin. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, another verse in the Quran, ayat in the Quran says, Inna arsalnaka shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhira wa da'iyan ilallahi bi'iznihi wa sirajan munira. Mubashir and Nadhir. Mubashir is one who gives glad tidings. Tells you that if you do this, you will attain a reward. There is jannat. There is a blissful life that awaits us if you answer my call, if you answer the Almighty's call. Wa nadhira, He also warns that if you do not, there are consequences. Mumineen, it is narrated, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, even among the polytheists of Quraysh, was known as a Sadiq al-Amin, truthful, trustworthy. There are many zikr in that, inshallah, on another occasion we will do them. Rasulullah, after he declared that he is Allah Ta'ala's messenger, established the deen of Islam, the religion of Islam, one day stood before the tribes of Quraysh and said these words, Ya Sabaha, this is indeed a grievous morning. Ya Bani Abdul Muttalib, Ya Bani Abd Manaf, O sons of Abdul Muttalib, O sons of Abd Manaf, the different clans of Quraysh, the tribe of Quraysh. Araytum law akhbartukum anna khaylan takhruju bi safhi hadha al-jabal akuntum musaddiqin. If I tell you that behind the foot of this mountain there are horsemen preparing to attack you, would you believe me? They answered, Ma jarrabna alayka kadiban. They said that in our experience you have never lied to us before. At that time Rasulullah said, فَإِنِّي نَذِيرٌ لَكُمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ. Then know this, indeed, I am a warner to you, a nadhir, before a harsh punishment. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warns of the punishment that awaits to those who don't accept his call, who do not accept Islam. Mumineen. Mim, Rasulullah's message calling us to the afterlife. His promise that if you accept His call, the Almighty's call, you have eternal life. And He shows us the path to it. You heard in the previous majlis that Rasulullah, the Shariat of Islam, He does not simply say that believe this, and if you believe this, then live in this manner. Live your lives in this manner. That is the path to return to your heavenly abode. Mumineen. Mim, Muhammad conveys the Almighty's promise. Muhammad shows the path. Mim and then Ayn, Ma'ad, return. Ayn is Ali. After Muhammad, Ali shows that path. Ali delivers that promise. And Mim and Ayn in Ma'ad, Mim follows Ayn. Muhammad and Ali are together since eternity. They are together in this world, and they will be together upon their return in the hereafter. It is narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that awwalu man yadkhulul jannah Ali ibn Abi Talib. The first to enter jannat is Ali. Some ask that before you, Rasulullah said that Ali is the one who will carry liwa'ul hamd, the banner of hamd, the banner of praise, my banner. And the one who carries the banner always goes ahead. Mumineen, Muhammad and Ali are together, created together, here together in this world and together in the hereafter. Amir al-Mumineen, salawatullahi alayhi. In many of his orations, it was Mumineen, it was difficult to select which one to recite today. There are so many orations, so many khutbas of Amir al-Mumineen in which he reminds of the imminence of death, of what awaits for Mumineen, for those who believe in the Almighty's promise and then live their lives accordingly, and those who do not. Amir al-Mumineen's khutbas have been collected, many collections are there. Nahjul Balagha is one of them. One of the Shia, Sharif Radi, 12-verse Shia, he collected these orations as the examples of eloquence. There are many other khutbas also. Nahjul Balagha, my beloved sister, Dr. Tahira Bhaisaheb, she has published the edition with a very, very beautiful English translation. In one of his khutbas, Amir al-Mu'mineen warns. Rasulullah is the Nazir, one who warns and gives glad tidings. Every Imam fulfills that role for the people of his age. Muhammad, in Ma'ad, the first letter, Ayn, the second letter, Ali. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, فَاحْذَرُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ فَاحْذَرُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ الْمَوْتِ وَقُرْبِهِ وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُ عُدَّتَهُ فإنه يأتي بأمر عظيم وخطب جليل بخير لا يكون معه شر أبدا أو شر لا يكون معه خير أبدا. Worshippers of Allah, beware of death, for it is imminent. Ready your provisions for death, for death will bring a momentous affair, a fateful end. Either of two things, Ali says, a good end, good with no evil attached to it forever after, or evil with no good attached to it forever after. فَمَنْ أَقْرَبُ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ مِنْ عَامِلِهَا وَمَنْ أَقْرَبُ إِلَى النَّارِ مِنْ عَامِلِهَا وَإِنَّكُمْ طُرَدَاءُ الْمَوْتِ. Tell me, Who is closer to jannat, paradise, than its seeker? One who seeks jannat and paradise. Who is closer to Jahannam, hellfire, than its seeker? Then Ali says, death stalks you. It's just waiting for the right time. In aqamtum lahu akhadakum, wa in farartum minhu adrakakum, wa huwa alzamu lakum min dhillikum. Al-mawtu ma'qudun bi nawasikum. If you remain motionless, it will snatch you. If you flee, it will surely find you. The Quran Majid says, Mumineen, there is an ayat, Aynama takunu yudrikkumul maut walau kuntum fi burujin mushayyada. There are some who built high towers saying that we will escape death. The Quran Majid says, wherever you are, death will find you. Even if you are in very high towers. Today there are multi-story skyscrapers. People who build them sometimes forget that even with such brilliance, so that you are able to construct such skyscrapers or achieve such achievements, finally, death is imminent. Maulana Tahir Saifuddin, in a qasida, this verse, Babaji Sahib prayed it in a sabak many, many years ago. This was when the first moon landing happened. And people were very amazed that human beings sitting on earth could send a human being could travel from earth all the way to the moon. It's an extraordinary achievement. Babaji Sahib said that it is indeed an extraordinary achievement. But consider also this creation, the precision of this creation, that we know that the moon will be in this location at this precise moment, at this precise second, so that we are able to plan the journey and the moon landing can happen. Babaji Sahib then prayed this bait of Maulana Tahir Saifuddin. وَإِذَا قَدَرْتَ عَلَى الَّذِي لَمْ يَقْدِرِ الْإِنسَانُ قَبْلَكَ فَدْرِ شَانَ الْمُقْدِرِ.
وَإِذَا قَدَرْتَ عَلَى الَّذِي لَمْ يَقْدِرِ الْإِنسَانُ قَبْلَكَ فَدْرِ شَانَ الْمُقْدِرِ.
If you have been able to achieve that people before you were not able to achieve, then contemplate for a second. Contemplate for a second the ability, the power of your Creator who gave you this ability to achieve, your mind, who created you. Do not forget that. Mumineen, Amir Mumineen says that death will find you. Another ayat says, In kuntum tafirruna min al-maut fa innahu mulaqikum. No matter how you try to escape it, it will find you. There are people today with the advances in science who try to somehow escape death, to prolong life. Ultimately, to what end? Nobody has succeeded till now. They may prolong it, sure. But then to what end? A few more minutes on the ventilator, a few more minutes frozen so that something will happen later. Then what? Our Hudat Kiram, Mumineen, Laradduka ila Ma'ad remind us of our purpose, that there is a greater home to return to. Amir Mumineen says that death will find you, and it is more firmly attached to you than your own shadow. Mumineen, there are many other phrases and exhortations. Amir al-Mumineen ends this passage by saying, then be warned, فَاحْذَرُوا نَارًا قَعْرُهَا بَعِيدٌ وَحَرُّهَا شَدِيدٌ وَعَذَابُهَا جَدِيدٌ دَارٌ لَيْسَ فِيهَا رَحْمَةٌ وَلَا تَسْمَعُ فِيهَا دَعْوَةٌ وَلَا تُفَرَّجُ فِيهَا كُرْبَةٌ. Then be warned of punishment and fire, in which there is no mercy for the Almighty. At that point, there is no mercy. Then Amir Mumineen says, وَإِنِ اسْتَطَعْتُمْ أَنْ يَشْتَدَّ خَوْفُكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَأَنْ يَحْسُنَ ظَنُّكُم بِهِ فَاجْمِعُوا بَيْنَهُمَا. That if you are able to do this, if you can combine two things, if you can fear the consequences of the wrath of the Almighty, punishment on the one hand, and also place your hopes in Him at the same time, then do so. Combine the two. Indeed, a servant's hope in his Lord, إِنَّمَا يَكُونُ حُسْنُ ظَنِّهِ فَإِنَّ الْعَبْدَ إِنَّمَا يَكُونُ حُسْنُ ظَنِّهِ بِرَبِّهِ عَلَى قَدْرِ خَوْفِهِ مِنْ رَبِّهِ وَإِنَّ أَحْسَنَ النَّاسِ ظَنًّا بِاللَّهِ أَشَدُّهُمْ خَوْفًا لِلَّهِ. That a servant's hope in his Lord is only as strong as his fear of his Lord. And those who harbor the greatest hope, those who harbor the greatest hopes of God's bounty, are the ones who fear Him the most. Mumineen, Allah's salawat and salam upon Amir Mumineen. Rasulullah warned, his successor warns. Amir Mumineen also on another occasion said, Walil akhirate khuliqna, that we have been created for the hereafter. Amir Mumineen on yet another occasion said, فَأَعِدُّ الْجَوَابَ لِيَوْمِ الْحِسَابِ. Make ready your answer, you will be held accountable. The Quran Majid says, وَأَوْفُوا بِالْعَهْدِ إِنَّ الْعَهْدَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا. That fulfill your promises. And this is specifically about the covenant to the Almighty through His awliya, Misa, the oath, the promises, the commitments that you give in Misa, to follow Allah's path, to follow His messengers, His representatives. You will be asked about that. Amir al-Mumineen says, فَأَعِدُّ الْجَوَابَ لِيَوْمِ الْحِسَابِ. Prepare your answer for the day of judgment. You will be held accountable. You will be asked. وَأَكْثِرُ الزَّادَ لِيَوْمِ الْمَعَادِ. And make plenty provisions, preparations for the day of return, for Ma'ad. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen salawatullah alayhi, his high station you heard in previous majalis. Mazharu dhil arsh, the one through whom the divine light is manifest. He said, Ahin liqillati zad wa bu'ad safar. I lament that my provisions are few and the journey is very long. The Quran Majid says, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. Collect provisions, and the best provision is taqwa, piety. Mumineen, piety, the essential part of piety is to follow Imam Mutlaqeen, to follow the Imam, who will lead you to piety, who will show you what piety is. Now, Amir al-Mu'mineen said that provisions are few and the journey is very long, the return. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin was asked, Babaji Sahib said this to us, that Maulana Taher Fakhruddin was asked that Ali, who worshipped Allah Ta'ala in the way he did, whose sword established the religion of Islam with Rasulullah, who served Rasulullah, this Ali, Rasulullah, Amir al-Mumineen, you heard in his last Sharullah, doing iftar on 3 morsels of food, feeding entire Kufa, people of Kufa. This Ali is saying, I have very few provisions. What will become of us if Ali says this? Maulana Taher Fakhruddin answered that Ali is saying this, Ali is Ali. But just as if a leader of a community or a king is preparing for a journey, he is concerned for the provisions of all those who are going to come with him. Amir al-Mumineen, when he says, Ahin liqillati zad, I lament that I have few provisions and the journey is long, he is concerned about all the Shia who he wants to carry and take with him. Imam alayhi salam has said, A'inuna Mumineen, we speak of promise. Our Hudat Kiram, you have heard this numerous times and you hear it in all majalis. That you follow, you believe in the Almighty, you answer the Almighty's call by giving misaq. And the Almighty has given them the authority to guarantee your salvation. This is not their own guarantee. They have been granted this position by the Almighty. Rasulullah did not become messenger on his own. Allah Ta'ala made him the messenger. Amir al-Mumineen did not become the wasi on his own. Rasulullah, by Allah's command, made him the successor. And so on and so forth. Every imam is appointed by nas, by divine command. A da'i is appointed as da'i by divine command. That is why he is able to tell you that hold my hand, follow me, and I will take you. Ensure your return, ma'ad, to jannat. Imam alayhi salam says, A'inuna biwara'in wajtihad. So help us by piety, by being virtuous, by being modest, wajtihad, by making all efforts. That is upon us. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen's maqam, his high station is extraordinary. Ma'ad, inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'an laradduka ila ma'ad.
आदत ज़मानी कहाँ छे आमानी बुनियाद छे बस फना पर जहानी बैठी यहाँ कर फिक्र वहानी जिम तू करे छे फिक्र यहानी मेहमान छे तो फजर माजा से तो शो तूले नहीं तो पछताओ था से अल्लाह ताला नो हम्द तू कर जे दुनिया ने
Amir al-Mumineen salawatullah alayhi also said that visit graveyards. Visit graveyards. It will remind you, because in the noise of this world, many of us in day-to-day life, especially those who do not pray or those who do not have this belief in Allah Ta'ala's promise, forget that there is an end to this life. Amir al-Mumineen said, visit graveyards so that you are reminded. A few years ago, when the COVID pandemic came, everybody was suddenly aware that death is imminent. The pandemic has gone, but death is still imminent. And I will speak of this more. Reminder for death is not so that you're focused on death and you forget to live. Reminder about death is so that you know that you recognize that it is imminent, but you prepare for it and then live a full life without fear of it. Inshallah, we'll do more bayan of this. Mumineen and our Hudat Kiram show us how to live a full life. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'an laradduka ila ma'ad. The Lord who has revealed the Qur'an to you will ensure your return. Mim, Muhammad, Ayn, Ali. Then Alif. Muhammad reminds us of our return. Ali reminds us of our return. After Muhammad and Ali, Alif, Imam. Every Imam reminds us that we are here to return to our heavenly abode, to journey to the hereafter. We pray always, Wahshurna fi zumratihi. May Allah Ta'ala resurrect us. May Allah Ta'ala raise us with our Imam, for he is surely to return. If we are with him, then inshallah we will return with him. Mumineen, today is the first majlis. Today is the majlis of the first Imam, Hasan Imam. His successor, Aqa Husain, You heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-Hasan wal-Husainu, Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. They are the masters of the youth of paradise. They are surely to return. Those who believe in them, have their muhabbat in their hearts, are surely to return with them. Mumineen, inshallah, we will do zikr of Hasan Imam's Fazail in tomorrow's majlis. Hasan and Husain, the first Imams, they both ensured that those who answered their call returned to Jannat. You heard just some time ago the zikr of Aka Husain, how he ensured that those with him, although in this world they lost everything, they lost their life in this world, but they held such deep conviction and belief in Allah Ta'ala's promise, in Husain Imam's promise, that they sacrificed their life. Did not hesitate. Rather, they went forth that we are willing and coming with you. Mumineen, Muminat, we seek inspiration and strength from them. Each Imam calls to your return, calls you to da'wat to ensure your return. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Quran al-radduka ila ma'ad, reminds you of the hereafter. Mumineen, there is one fable, a very deeply meaningful one. Imam Ahmadul Mastur in Ikhwanus Safa narrates this. He says that there was a city next to a mountain in one of the islands. Now, this island was very fertile, full of vegetation, clean air, sweet, pure water, fertile soil, many, many trees, delicious fruits, many species of animals. The people who inhabited this island were all close brothers, cousins, relatives, a close-knit family. Their life there was a very peaceful life. Their love and affection for one another renewed, their compassion and kindness towards one another. Nobody was jealous of one another. It's difficult to imagine in this world. Mumineen, Amir al-Mumineen salawatullahi alayhi has also said, Al-hasadu ya'kulul jasad. Jealousy eats up the person that is jealous. Can't think of anything else. The origins of Iblis, his sin is jealousy. He was jealous of Adam, that Adam was elevated as Allah's Khalifa, his representative, not him. And that jealousy was the seed of so much more. In this island, returning to the fable, the hikayat, Imam alayhi salam says, this island, there was no jealousy, no enmity between each other, no evil that we see in other cities today. Now, Imam alayhi salam says that a group of people from this city, from this beautiful city, peaceful city, embarked on a voyage. Their ship, as they were mid-voyage, a storm hit their ship, the rudder broke, and the waves threw it to another island. An island very different from the island that they came from. The mountains there were treacherous, the trees high, The fruits, few. The water, sulfuric, most of it. Dark valleys. Carnivorous animals. And the majority of the inhabitants of this other island that they ended up in were like monkeys, apes. Now, in these islands, there was one extraordinary bird. Every one now and then, it would come, swoop down and pick up one of the apes and take it away. Now, the people who came from the other island, the peaceful island, the good island, were in deep shock. As they traversed this other island that they had ended up in hunger, in thirst, they ate what they could, they drank what they could. In the night, they found caves where they would seek refuge from the heat and the cold. Ultimately, as time passed, these human beings, they were initially uncomfortable with the apes, but as time passed, it became normal. They became closer to them. They cohabitated, recreated. This island, new island, became their home. The new became normal. People often say that this is the new normal. So for them, this was the new normal. Now, they made homes from stones. They married the apes. Now, one fine day, one of the men from the original island saw in his dream. He saw in his dream that he returns to his home, his original home, the beautiful island that he left, the family that he left. And he saw that the people, his family, were waiting to receive him. They received him outside the city, took him inside, cleaned him up, shaved his unkempt hair, gave him new clothes to wear, gave him perfume, carried him inside, and started asking him about the other companions that had left with him. Where are they? What happened to them? They were all astonished how he managed to return, and astonished at the story that he told them. But alas, he awoke and found himself still in this treacherous island. In the morning, he woke up saddened, remembering his origin, gathered his companions, talked to them about their original homeland. They started thinking and planning, how can we go back? How can we save ourselves? They decided that they would get together and build a new ship. They started working together, helping each other. One by one, their other companions who had dispersed into this new island, they gathered them back, talked to them about the origins, made the group larger, made the community larger who wanted to head back. But as they were building the ship, this great bird that picked up one of the apes every now and then Because they were so unkempt, hair overgrown, the bird thought that this is another ape, picked one of them up. Those who were left behind were very sad that one of our own was taken away by this bird. As the bird flew higher, it realized that what I've caught is not what I'm used to. It's not my regular prey. And as the bird was flying over the original island, he threw him down. The bird threw him down. His companions were left in the old island, feeling sorry and sad that he was picked up. And the man that was picked up and dropped in his original homeland was overjoyed. He wished that the bird would pick up one of his companions every day and bring them here. Imam alayhi salam then says that this world, dunya, is like the treacherous island. The people of this world, as apes, animals, simply look after their carnal needs, recreation, reproducing, eating, sleeping, nothing else. And this great bird, that is death. And those people from the good island, the original island, are the believers, are the pious. And the original island is the hereafter, the celestial realm. That is our origin. That is where we wish to return. Mumineen, Imam alayhi salam, and our Hudood, in all different manners, remind us that we are here in this world for a reason. And what awaits us in the hereafter is something very different. We have to strive for it. We can choose to either become animalistic, as many do. No inhibitions, everything goes. That is considered freedom. That is not freedom. You are not free from pain and death. You are not free from grief in this world. True freedom is in the hereafter. Mumineen, muminat.
बिरादर तू नसीहत सुन हकीकत ना गुलो तू चुन ज़मी थी आसमानी बन भलो बोई भलो तोलन हिदायत नो तुले रस तो फिर शेतासी तू करिश तो बिरादर तू नसीहत सुन बिरादर तू बसीरत ले बुजुर्गों नो वतीरत ले फिर शैतानी तो सीरत ले कुदस नो तो हजीरत ले उमर बाकी संभाली ले मकारिम ने माली ले.
There are many bayans. Imam Mustansir Billah, his Babul Abwab, Syedna Shirazi, says in one of his majalis, Babaji Sahib used to recite this bayan of Muhayyad very frequently in his bayans, in his Waaz. Falaita Shari, consider this. He addresses people of intelligence, intellect, reason. Consider this. Lima suliltum min qawl aflaki wal ajram wa udrijtum fi madarajil aslab wal arham. Why? Oh human beings, intelligent beings, consider this. Why were you drawn forth from the forces of the celestial spheres, this whole Universe was created. It turned and churned until human beings were created. You moved across loins and wombs. You finally came into this world. وَأُخْرِجْتُمْ مِنْ ضِيقِ ذَلِكَ الْغِشَاءِ إِلَى فُسْحَةِ هَذَا الْفَضَاءِ. You are brought out from the narrowness of the womb into this vastness, this open expanse, this world. وَعُوِدْتُمْ عَنِ الظُّلْمَةِ بِالضِّيَاءِ. The darkness of the womb was changed into the light that you see around you. وَأُنْشِئَ فِيكُمْ مَعْنًا بَاطِنُ الذَّاتِ ظَاهِرُ الْآيَاتِ مُحِيطٌ بِالْأَرْضِ وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ. And created within you was an essence, a spirit, a mind, a soul that is unseen, but its signs, its energy, its forcefulness is manifest. Encompassing in its perception every human being in his mind, encompassing in its perception muhitun bil ardi was samawat, encompassing in its perception the entire heavens and the earth. Muayyad then says, akullu dhalika, all of this, lan tatashabbahu bil bahaim, so merely you can imitate cattle and sheep. عكوفا على ما تشتهون من المشارب والمطاعم, clinging to what you crave from food and drink, that's it. ثم تموتون فتبطلون وتنقرضون فتهملون, only to then die and perish, to become extinct and forgotten. It says kalla, never. كلا لن تبطل فيكم حكمة الحكيم وتقدير العزيز العليم. The wisdom of the Creator, the wise Creator, the Almighty will not fail in you. Nor the decree of the Aziz Alim, the Almighty, the All-Knowing, will never be rendered vain. Mumineen, our Hudat Kiram, the Imams, have reminded us time and again, have sought to address our intellect, our minds to think, to consider our purpose, to consider our origins, to consider our return. And they have shown a path to it. They have appealed to the reason, to the mind, to the intellect. And their religion, our faith, every aspect of it appeals to the mind. There is reason in everything that we do. Why we believe in what we believe, why we pray the way we pray. They appeal to that reason. And then they call us to the hereafter. Mumineen, inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. Every Imam calls to ma'ad, to our return, reminds us of the hereafter, shows us the path to our return, to fulfill our purpose. Mim, Muhammad, Ayn, Ali, Alif, Imam. And Dal, Da'i. In the Imam's seclusion, the Da'i. And in this word, Ma'ad, the system of this entire Dawr Muhammadi is included. Muhammad, Ali, Imam, Da'i. They ensure our return, they ensure our salvation. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. The Quran is every Imam, and the Duaat are the surats of the Quran. Inshallah, we will do zikr of the Duaat Mutlaqeen in tomorrow's Majlis. Mumineen, the Duaat Kiram have throughout the last nearly 1,000 years of the Imam's seclusion. Tayyib Imam was in the 6th century. We are now in the 15th century. They have reminded us in the time of the Imam's seclusion about the hereafter, about our return, about the purpose of our life. One of the du'at, Syedna Ali bin Hanzala, in a higher book of learning, says, وَبَعْدَ هَذَا فَالسَّعِيدُ مَنْ نَظَرْ لِنَفْسِهِ قَبْلَ الْوَفَاةِ وَاعْتَبَرْ بغيره ممن تقضى قبله واغتنم الوقت وفيه المهلة قبل الفراق وذهاب المركب وهو انحلال جسمه المركب. Syedna Ali bin Hanzala says that indeed the Saeed, the one who will earn eternal bliss, is one who looks for the benefit of his soul. He takes heed from the people who have died around him and left. He takes heed before his own death. He takes advantage of the time that he has left. Amir al-Mumineen salawatullahi alayhi has said, Baqiyatu umri al-mu'min la qimata laha. What is left in your life, the time that you have remaining, is priceless. What has gone is gone, but what you have left is priceless. Be deliberate with it, be conscious of it. Reminding of death is not to make you fear death, quite the contrary. If you believe in the Almighty's promise, in His awliya's promise, follow the path, you're not worried about that. You can fully live. You can take the opportunity of every breath, every second and minute that you have. Sayyidina Ali continues, وَأَبْصَرَ الدُّنْيَا بَعَيْنِ الْفِكْرَةِ يَنْظُرُ مَاذَا فِيهِ أَفْنَى عُمْرَهُ. The one who is sensible, who is blessed, is one who, before the ship sails, before his end, he considers with his mind, looks at the world with an eye of discernment, thinks about what he did, about his life. محاسبا لنفسه بنفسه وهاربا من سجنه وحبسه. One who looks, holds himself accountable, one who looks in the mirror, thinks about what he has done today, what he has spent his time doing. Mumineen, all of us spend our time earning a livelihood, seeking a job, working. That is necessary. We have to do that to live in this world. But also consider the hereafter, your purpose. Also consider how much time do you actually spend for that. We offer hamd and shukur, all of you who have come to the majlis today, because you are concerned about that, because you have prioritized that, and do so throughout your life, throughout the year. In Muharram especially, the days we have are numbered. What we spend our time on is up to us. Be deliberate about it, be conscious about it. Mumineen. Another da'i, Syedna Abdi Ali, Saifuddin Ridwanullahi alayhi. In one of his qasidas, he begins his qasida, Ahamma umurika amrul ma'adi. Ahamma umurika amrul ma'adi. The most important, the highest priority is ma'ad, your return, your hereafter. Wa islahu dhatika ainur rashadi.
أهم أمورك أمر المعاد وإصلاح ذاتك عين الرشاد.
That is the most important. That's why you have been created. If you do not achieve that purpose, you achieve so many other things, but fail to achieve this. What is the point? All other achievements are great. Success in business, in your career, in education, in society, a beautiful home, in America, a very nice car. All of that is great. If you, your children, achieve all of this, those things, that is great. But if you fail to achieve the purpose of your life, consider the hereafter, then those achievements are eventually after death null. Mumineen, Sayyidina Abdi Ali Saifuddin says, فَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا هُدًى أَوْرَدًا فَذَا لِلصَّلَاحِ وَذَا لِلْفَسَادِ. It's either guidance or ultimately death and end. He then says, فَلَا تُبْتِلِ الْعُمْرَ فِي بَاطِلٍ فَمَا فَائِتُ الْعُمْرِ بِالْمُسْتَعَادِ. Don't spend your life Don't waste your life in useless things. For life, the part of your life that has gone, you can never retrieve. A day gone past where you have not prayed and not remembered the Almighty, you will not get back. وَمَا الرِّبْحُ إِلَّا هُنَاكَ وَهَا هُنَا لَسْتَ إِلَّا بِسُوقِ الْكَسَادِ. People are concerned about profit in the stock market, in their business. Syedna says that true profit is there. And here, this market is a market where you are insured of recession. Eventually, you're going to die. Mumineen, there are many abiyat, inshallah. On another occasion, we will pray the entire qasida.
मत आखिरत ने वेची ने दुनिया खरीद जे पैदा थई तू दुनिया मा पाछो मरा करे बाकी उमर मा जागी ने गफलत नी नींद थी लायक छे हर घरी तू खुदा ने दरा करे इंसान वो छे बाकी आफानी जहान मा जे ना जिगर मा जिक्र खुदानी वसा करे जे शख्स बंदगी माघी से जात ने तमाम माथा ने लोगे तेनी कबर पर घिसा करे खोली ने आँख देखो बसीरत नी मोमिनो इबरत छे मौत सब ने ये इबरत को फा करे निकला छे सब जमीन थी जा से जमीन माँ कोई छूट से ना मौत थी लाखों दावा करे जे कोई खुदा ना नाम निमाला जपा करे तो तेने सरफराज जगत माँ खुदा करे काछे खुदा जुदा वो बशर थी ए दोस्तो जे याद दिल में अपना खुदा नी करा करे चाहे जे कोई खलासी हयूला ना कैद थी तो आ खुदा ना लोग नी बस इक़्तिदा करे.
We offer hamd and shukur to Allah Ta'ala that we are on the right path, on the path to return. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. We are on the way to our origins, to our home of eternal bliss. Amir al-Mumineen salawatullahi alayhim has said, wa'alamu ibadallah. Know this, worshippers of Allah. Anna al-muttaqeen dhahabu bi'ajil ad-dunya wa ajil al-akhirah. That the pious partake in the joys of this world and the next. Sharaku ahl ad-dunya fi dunyahum. They share this world with the people of this world, the worldly. But the worldly, the people of this world who are focused only on this world, they do not share the hereafter. The pious Amir al-Mumineen says, Sakanu dunya bi-afdali ma sukinat wa akaluha bi-afdali ma ukilat. In this world, The pious, they reside in the most splendid, the best of residences, best homes. They consume the finest delicacies. Who is telling you not to? حظوا من الدنيا بما حظي به المترفون وأخذوا منها ما أخذ الجبابرة المتكبرون. They possess opulent comforts of the wealthy and partake lavish luxuries of the mighty. Yet, ثم انقلبوا عنها بالزاد المبلغ. Yet, when they depart, when they return, they leave with a full supply of provisions, a large profit. والمتجر الرابح أصابوا لذة زهد الدنيا في دنياهم وتيقنوا أنهم جيران الله غدا في آخرتهم. They enjoy the pleasures of this world without becoming immersed in worldliness, content in the certain knowledge that they will be God's neighbors in the next. لا ترد لهم دعوة ولا ينقص لهم نصيب. No prayer rejected, all prayers answered. Mumineen, our Hudat Kiram say, when you pray to the Almighty, no prayer is rejected. If it is in Allah's wisdom and justice that you will receive an answer here, you will receive it. If not, it will be reserved for you. Pray with that conviction. No prayer rejected, لا ترد لهم دعوة ولا ينقص لهم نصيب. No pleasure withheld. Maulana Tahir Saifuddin, Adai, Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Quran laradduka ila ma'ad. Mim Muhammad Ain Ali Alif Imam Dal Da'i. Maulana Tahir Saifuddin Ridwanullahi alayhi says that make your lives in this world fi dunyakum ala ma wasafahu maulakum Amirul Mumineen. Live your life as Amirul Mumineen has described. For a full life. وَاحْسِنُوا إِلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ بِاسْتِخْدَامِ دُنْيَاكُمْ لِدِينِكُمْ تَسْتَحِقُّوا جَزَاءَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And be kind to yourselves, be good to yourselves by using this world, this dunya, to earn your hereafter for religion, so that you may attain the reward of paradise. وَاجْتَنِبُوا عَنْ قَوْمٍ. Maulana Tahir Saifuddin says, and this is very pertinent today, especially with those usurpers who have usurped control of the infrastructure. وَاجْتَنِبُوا عَنْ قَوْمٍ نَصَبُوا لِدُنْيَاهُمْ حَبَالَةَ الدِّينِ. Stay away from those people who, for their material wants of dunya, abuse religion. Mumineen, our Hudat Kiram have told us that La rahbaniyata fil Islam. In Islam, there is no asceticism where you shun this world to the extent that where you have certain religions, where you have monks and ascetics who do not partake in any worldly pleasure or in anything at all. Islam does not preach that. Rasulullah said, Shari'at of Rasulullah shows us the path to, as Amir Mumineen says, enjoy the best of delicacies. But there is halal and there is haram. Alcohol is haram because it intoxicates you. It makes a sane man insane. Or a sane woman insane. But its impact on your soul is even more. Mumineen, that is why our Hudat say that when you start one by one, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, you go further and further and further away from the path. As we say when you remember Husain, when you come to this majlis, when you stand in prayer every day, you become closer and closer and closer to the Almighty. You are kind to yourself. This is for yourself, not for anyone else. When you come to this majlis, it is for yourself. When you answer the Da'i's call, it is for your salvation. Rasulullah, the Imam and his Da'i, they have been given that position and station by the Almighty. Your acceptance or rejection is not going to make a difference. Our Hudat Kiram, Mumineen, guide us. Remember the hereafter, they remind us of the hereafter. They remind us of death again and again to sharpen our focus, not to be fatalistic. Quite the contrary. The world, the materialism around us, that noise is so loud. Whether you pick up your phone, open the television on your computer, you visit a mall, go shopping, the music is so loud, sometimes so loud that it is not even possible to hear yourself speak or think. That is the reality of this world, which is why they ask you to pause. Which is why when you come to the majlis, they speak about the hereafter. They ask you to think about your purpose. And they show you the path. And that path is not of asceticism where you need to shun everything. It is not. Our Hudat Kiram, when they speak of death, when they speak of the hereafter, it is not that they're depressed about this world or they are urging you to wish for death. Quite the contrary. There is a poet, very, very well-known poet. He has said an Arabic verse, Kafa bika da'an an taral mauta shafiya. He was in a very difficult situation, extremely depressed. Kafa bika da'an an taral mauta shafiya wa hasbul manaya an yakunna amaniya. That it is enough that you are seeing death as the cure. And it is a strange thing that manaya, death, is amaniya, is my wish. That is not what our Hudat say. They say that wish for a long life, live healthy, live happy, but with the intent that the time that you have, you will fulfill a greater purpose. You will be there for your family, for your loved ones, help them grow. Small children, nurture them. Your elders, take care of them. The society that you live in, that you will be a force for good, a source for good for them. It is not that death is imminent means that you wish for it. You live a full life. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin, in his qasidas, many times has prayed to the Lord. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin in his abiyat, Ilahi atil umri. He says, God grant me a long life. But our Hudat, all in every instance where he's prayed for this, he says, Atil umri le'am mora da'watal Aimmat ahlil makrumat al-karimat makrumat al-rafi'ati. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin in one verse has said, Ilahi atil umri le'amura da'watal Aimmat ahlil makrumat al-rafi'ati. Give me long life so I can continue to establish the Imam's da'wat. So I can guide Mumineen, continue to guide Mumineen, enrich their lives with the knowledge of Ali Muhammad, guidance. Mumineen, a full life with the right intention, a full life with purpose, then it is truly a full life. And that has to be a deliberate choice. Every day we wake up and choose what we will have for breakfast, whether we will have a cup of tea or coffee. What will we spend the day doing? That is a choice. That is a blessing that the Almighty has given us every single day of our life. Be deliberate about what you choose, what you spend your time in. Live a full life. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin in his qasida, I intended to pray many abiyat from that qasida, where he explains what a good life, a hayat tayyibah, a pure life can be. Walking with humility, not getting angry, spending wisely, spending also if you have more to help others, taking care of those who are downtrodden. If someone wrongs you, Forgive them, move on. Whatever you do, aim for excellence. Be good at what you do. Be proud of what you do. Sow the seeds of love. Walk with dignity. Always be virtuous. Always be kind. Whatever you learn, act accordingly. Have empathy for those around you. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin says, وَعِمَارَةُ الدُّنْيَا كَذَا الْأُخْرَى مَعًا دِينُ الْهُدَى لَهُمَا مَعًا قُمْ فَعْمُرِي.
وعمارة الدنيا كذا الأخرى معا دين الهدى لهما معا قم فامري.
Establishing and building this world and the hereafter together. That is the rightly guided religion. Both of them stand up and cultivate. Maulana Taher Fakhruddin says, استخدم الدنيا ولا تكو خادم الدنيا توقر في الورى وتعززي.
استخدم الدنيا ولا تكو خادم الدنيا تعزر في الورى وتوقري.
Maulana Taher Fakhruddin says, use this world's services, the opportunity it gives you. Use this world's services. Do not become this world's servant, and you will receive respect and esteem. Dunya kadaru kama ta'ishu fa'atiha sharaf al-ula faddaru bil mutadayyiri. This world is your home. Yes, you live here. Bring to it honor of the highest station, for a home's honor derives from the one who resides therein. Ad-deenu fi dunya kamithli ar-ruhi fil jismi i'tabir dha mutqinan wa takhabbari. Religion in this world, our faith in this world, is like the soul in a body. Understand this well. Test it and scrutinize. Mumineen, our Hudat Kiram, Amir al-Mumineen has said, Ma ahsan ad-deen wa ad-dunya idha ijtama. If deen and dunya are both together in harmony, that is the best. With this belief, with the belief in the Almighty's promise, the promise of the reward. This is not just as we said in a previous majlis, this is not just blind faith. This belief in the promise is based on reason, as they appeal to us that consider your purpose. This belief in the promise, the more you learn, the more you seek the knowledge of Ali Muhammad from our Hudat, the more you learn, the more you will strengthen your conviction. The more conviction in the promise of the Almighty, in His awliya's promise. The more you will strengthen your resolve and be deliberate in your choices in this world. Mumineen, Muminat, we offer hamd and shukr to Allah Ta'ala that we are in this world and that we are mindful of our purpose. There is a lot written and said about mindfulness. Be mindful of your needs, of your feelings, and so and so. All well and good. But first and foremost, be mindful of yourself and your purpose in this world. Be deliberate about it. It is said, Ad-dunya rahimul akhirah. Our Hudat have said this, that dunya is the womb for the hereafter. All those of us who have children, parents, when the mother is pregnant, we are very concerned about the mother's health. For those 9 months will shape the baby's life for decades to come. This world is like the womb for the hereafter. This is your opportunity to act responsibly. Be conscious that your actions now will have an impact on your eternal life. Mumineen, we offer hamd and shukr. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على رسوله سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين إن الذي فرض عليك القرآن لرادك إلى معاد. We offer hamd and shukr to the Almighty. Pray salawat on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, those who guide us to the hereafter, those who convey to us the Almighty's promise for our return, those who with their guidance, with their sacrifices, ensure that we have that path to our return and salvation. We pray salawat on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. May Allah Ta'ala salawat shower upon Muhammad and Ali Muhammad and their Duaat Mutlaqeen. Syedna Taher Fakhruddin guided Mumineen for many years, over 5 decades. His successor, Syedna Muhammad Burhanuddin, showed us the path to return, Ma'ad. His successor, Babaji Sahib Maulana Qutbuddin, established the Dawat. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'an laradduka ila Ma'ad. Those who accepted his call, held his hand, are on the true path to return. And his successor, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin, continues to show us the hereafter and our return. Guide us to live a full life, how to live a full life, and maintain our purpose. His majalis, his teachings, his bayan, and the bayan we are doing, this is the barakat of Babaji Sahib, Duaat Mutlaqeen, Maulana Taher Fakhruddin's bayan. This is his guidance. By his permission, I convey it to you. Seek his blessing, seek his guidance, follow his example. May Allah Ta'ala grant us strength and conviction to do so. Allahumma ahyina hayat al-ulama wa aishna aishat al-su'ada wa ahshurna fi zumrat al-anbiya wa adkhilna al-jannat ma'al Aimmat al-atqiya. May Allah Ta'ala, may our lives be the lives of scholars and ulama, those who seek knowledge, those who are enriched by it. وَعِشْنَا عِيشَةَ السُّعَدَى. May our life be a life of those who are happy in this world and the hereafter. سَعَادَةُ الدَّارَيْنِ وَاحْشُرْنَا فِي زُمْرَةِ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ. May Allah Ta'ala raise us, resurrect us with the Anbiya, the Prophets. وَأَدْخِلْنَا الْجَنَّةَ مَعَ الْأَئِمَّةِ الْأَتْقِيَاءِ. May we enter Jannat with the Imams, the pious Imams. Mumineen, Babaji Sahib Maulana Qutbuddin used to pray this dua, that may our breaths in this world, saans, each breath that we take, inhale, exhale, be such that it is a staircase, one step up, taking us to the heavens. Akhirat ni taraf, hamari saans, hamara vaste siri bane. Mumineen, spend your life, take the blessing of each breath. Be deliberate and intent. Your niyatul mu'min ablagu min amali. First is the intention. May Allah Ta'ala grant us barakat in our intentions and our deeds. Aya Rabbi waffiqni li ikhlasi niyati. Aya Rabbi waffiqni li dhikrika wa shukri.
يا رب وفقني لإخلاص نيتي يا رب وفقني لذكرك والشكر.
May Allah Ta'ala grant us tawfiq, right guidance in our intentions, so that our intentions are sincere, as Maulana Taher Fakhruddin prays in this prayer. Ya Rabbi waffiqni li dhikrika wa shukri. Allah Ta'ala grant me tawfiq, guidance, strength, so that I remember you and do not forget you, so that I always am grateful, offering shukr to you. Mumineen, in this Mubarak Majlis, we offer hamd and shukr to the Almighty for the barakat we are receiving, for our da'i's dua. Aqa Mawla prays for us day and night. He prayed for us in the Majlis, in the Bayan, in the Waaz, in Bombay today. Inshallah, I will convey it to you tomorrow in tomorrow's Majlis in Aashura. By the virtue of his dua, may Allah Ta'ala grant you barakat in your homes, in your lives, in your families, in your business, in your finances, in your careers, success in your education. May Allah Ta'ala, by the virtue of Amir al-Mumineen, Halal al-Mushkilat, ease our hardships, the difficulties that we face, the challenges that we face. May Allah Ta'ala grant us guidance to make the right choices in the difficult choices that we face. May Allah Ta'ala grant us answer all our prayers as He wishes in this world or the hereafter. May Allah Ta'ala return us to our heavenly abode. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. May Allah Ta'ala grant longest life to Aqa Mula, who is a herald to the hereafter, who reminds us of the hereafter, of our purpose, and shows us the path. May Allah Ta'ala grant him Nasr Aziz and Fath Mubin. And may Allah Ta'ala safeguard all Mumineen and protect them wherever they reside, here in North America, in Boston, all over the world. They reside in the sanctuary of Dawat, where they may face difficulties in this world, but they are all safeguarded and protected from death. They have no fear of that. Those who believe in Allah Ta'ala's promise, His awliya's promise, have nothing to fear. Mumineen, Muminat, may the barakat of this salawat continue till the day of judgment.
Qutbuddin na jani ghanu jivo tahir noor qudsani ghanu jivo hidayat हमने आपो सादात हमने बख्शो बिशारत दो उक़बानी घनो जीवो जो देखा आपने तो पंजतन तोई ये बज़मा देखा हकीकत आह में जानी घनो जीवो करी दी दो अदावत नो चमन फल फूल सी आबाद पिलावी इल्म ना पानी घनो जीवो घना नाज़ो नियामा हमने पालो छो न थी ताकत नियम पर शुक्र करवानी घनो जीवो इमामुल असर नी दावत न खातिर मुमिनी खातिर दुआ छे एम सगलानी घनो जीवो
Ma'ashar al-Mu'mineen, mourners of Husain, Azadaran Husain, qad adhallakum yawm Aashura. The day of Aashura has cast its shadow upon you. Alladhi qutila fihi thamaratu fuadi Rasul wa bad'atu Fatimat al-Batul. فالواجب على كل مؤمن. This is the day, Mumineen, in which Rasulullah's heart, the joy of Rasulullah's heart was slain. The Imam, the son of Fatima, who was part of Fatima, was butchered in Karbala. فالواجب على كل مؤمن أن يذكر ما لقيه من البلاء في كربلاء وأصابه ويلبس للحزن والأسف عليه جلبابه. It is incumbent upon every mu'min, every believer who bears in his heart the love for Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hasan, and the fifth of the Panjit and Husain, that on this eve of Ashura and the day that follows, the day that is the equal of the day of judgment, to remember Husain's suffering, his Ahl Bayt suffering, his Ashab suffering in Karbala, to clothe himself in the garments of grief and sorrow, to remember the sacrifice of the Ahl Bayt and the Ashab, who sacrificed their souls for Husain, and in doing so, Fazu bil Husnain, achieved eternal bliss, martyrdom, the honor of martyrdom, shahadat in this world, and divine favor, and jannat in the hereafter. Muayyad says, وَاظِهِرُ النَّوْحَ وَالْعَوِيلِ بِالْإِبْكَارِ وَالْأَصِيلِ بِالْإِبْكَارِ وَالْأَصِيلِ. Manifest the signs of your grief and lamentation in the morning and the evening. Mumineen, this evening, this eve of Ashura, and tomorrow's morning, let only one cry come out of your mouth. Ya Husain, Ya Husain,
Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain. Karbala ki taza tar yaad sada hum kare, Karbala ki taza tar yaad sada hum kare. Ya Husain ki balandao nida hum kare, Ya Husain ki balandao nida hum kare. Jazba ulfat hai gar jaan fida हम करे, जज्बा उल्फत है गर जान फिदा हम करे. बेकसोला चार, बेकसोला चार, करबो बला की जमी तपता वो बन हाय हाय, करबो बला की जमी तपता वो बन हाय हाय. फातिमा का लुट गया जिसमें चमन हाय हाय, फातिमा का लुट गया जिसमें चमन हाय हाय. पाए नसीबते नबी गौरो कफन हाय हाय, पाए नसीबते नबी गौरो कफन हाय हाय. बेकसोला चार या हुसैन, बेकसोला चार या हुसैन, या
हुसैन. वabku minhu qatilan bakat alayhi fi as-sama'il malaika. Weep for one who is slain. The angel of the heavens wept for him. Why would they not? When in Karbala, on the day of Ashura, there was a moment in which Abbas' hands were cut. There was a moment on the day of Ashura when Abdullah, Hasan Imam's son, rode into the Yazidi army, and the newly married Abdullah was slain. There will be a moment on the day of Ashura. How will you not remember and weep? When Ali Akbar, Ali's namesake, the splitting image of Rasulullah, Hum Shakle Payambar, there will be a moment when a spear will pierce his chest. How will you not weep when there will be a moment tomorrow, the day of Ashura, when Husain's infant son Ali Asghar, a murderer's arrow pierced his neck? How will you not weep when there will be a moment on the day of Ashura when Husain, surrounded by the Yazidi army, alone in their midst, grief-stricken by the slaying of his Ahl Bayt Ashab, in one instance looks towards Madina Munawwara, remembers Rasulullah, calls to Rasulullah, "Oh Nana Nabi, oh my beloved grandfather, come to my aid." In another instance, Husain looks towards Najaf Ashraf, calls to Amir al-Mumineen Aqa Ali, Hallalul Mushkilat, come to my aid. Mumineen, in one of those moments, Lain Shimar will come and strike Aqa Husain. Husain will lay on the burning sands of Karbala. Lain Shimar will sit on Husain's chest grab his beard and with a blunt sword strike Husain's throat 12 times. There will be a moment in Aashura when Husain, our Aqa, our Mawla, for our Ma'ad, for your Ma'ad, for my Ma'ad, for the return, for the hereafter of all Mumineen till the day of judgment, will bow down in sajda. Symbolized by sajda that the Imamat, the one who calls to Ma'ad, will ensure Ma'ad, will establish his da'wat, his son, the Imam, establish his da'wat till the day of judgment. In his dua, he symbolized the da'i, one who also in the time of the Imam's seclusion will call to Ma'ad, to the return, the hereafter. In that dua, Mumineen, Husain remembered each one of us. And in that moment, Lain shimar, severed Aqa Husain's noble head from his pure body. Ya Husain!
Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! Ya Husain! आंसुओं का उठेगा एक तूफा, आंसुओं का उठेगा एक तूफा, जब भी आशूर का बयां होगा, जब भी आशूर का बयां होगा, ये न पूछो गमे हुसैन है क्या, आसमां रोया और ज़मीन रोई, आसमां रोया और ज़मीन रोई, सजदे में शह का जब गला काटा, सजदे में शह का जब गला काटा, ये न पूछो गमे हुसैन है क्या.
There will be a moment on the day of Ashura, after Husain is butchered by Shimar, where Husain's severed head will be raised on the head of a spear. Maulana Tahir Saifuddin draws this image and says, Hal mu'minun yatasalla. How can a believer, a mu'min, find solace when he sees in front of him that Husain's head is on top of a spear? Is there a musibat, a tragedy equal to this? Al-Qadhi Jullah Rasul Husain Mu'alla Ala Sinan Tajalla La'alauhu Kadukai. Even on this spear, Husain's radiance, his light, his divine light, is shining throughout the world. Wala fataya Husaina ya Sayyid al-Shuhada.
Al-Muminun yatasala halkaha dhi jola Rasul Husain Mu'alla ala sinan tajala lalahu kazukai wala fataya Husaina ya Sayyid al-Shuhada.
Ya Husain,
Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain, Ya Husain. किसने ये जुल्म किया इतरत पैगंबर पर, किसने ये जुल्म किया इतरत पैगंबर पर, सर शबीर को नेज़े पे चढ़ाया किसने, सर शबीर को नेज़े पे चढ़ाया किसने, फातिमा पे के दिल को दुखाया किसने, फातिमा पे के दिल को दुखाया किसने. पूछो पैगंबर इस्लाम से वो देंगे जवाब, पूछो पैगंबर इस्लाम से वो देंगे जवाब, मिटे इस्लाम को जान दे के बचाया किसने, मिटे इस्लाम को जहां दे के बचाया किसने? या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन।
Azadaran Husain, continue to remember Husain on this eve of Ashura and throughout the day tomorrow. May Allah's salawat and salam shower upon Aqa Husain, his Ahl Bayt and Ashab. Husain Imam, Al-Hasan wal-Husain Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. We want to earn jannat. We recited the shahadat of Husain, weeping for Husain, earning jannat. Now remember Hasan, Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. Weep for Hasan. Do matam of Hasan Husain and earn jannat. Hasan Husain.
Hasan Husain,
Imam Husain,
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 Hasan Husain.
Azadaran Hasan Husain. Hasan Imam made truce with Muawiyah. He returned from Kufa to Medina. In Medina, Hasan Imam, though he gave up temporal rule to Muawiyah, handed it over. Each Imam does what he is instructed by the Almighty, paving the path for Mumineen's return. Ma'ad, Hasan Imam returned to Medina, established Duaat, established his Hudood. Let flow the rivers of knowledge of Ali Muhammad. Many were drawn to Hasan Imam. Muawiyah, sitting in Damascus, regretted having done truce with Hasan. Saw that people are flocking to Hasan, answering his call, his da'wat. He grew concerned, he grew jealous. Muawiyah then plotted to send zahar, poison, to Hasan. How do I remedy this situation? Muawiyah found an accomplice in Hasan Imam's own household. Laina Jada, who was married to Hasan Imam, but had in her heart enmity for him. She conspired with Muawiyah and started to give poison to Hasan Imam, put poison in his food. Muawiyah would send it. Jada would deliver it in Hasan Imam's food. Hasan Imam, his health diminished. Illness after illness because of the poison. Jada wrote to Muawiyah that this is the household of Muhammad. Send some stronger poison. This is not achieving its goal. Muawiyah sent a very, very lethal poison called Hirkani. Hasan Imam's health was suffering. So at night, Zainab, Kulthum, his sisters, came and sat there by him to serve and look after any need of Hasan Imam. One night, as they were there attending to him, they slept. Jada saw an opportunity. When sleep overcame Zainab and Kulthum, she went and there was a water container, a kuza, under Hasan Imam's bed. At night he would wake up and drink from it. Jada put the lethal poison in that water. Hasan Imam, in the middle of the night, awoke. In thirst, he asked for water. Zainab, from that water container, offered water to Hasan Imam. Hasan sipped the water. Along with it, the poison reached his inside of his body. It is narrated the poison was so lethal that it shredded Hasan's liver. When he expelled what he had in the stomach, 72 pieces of that liver came out in the tray, which attested, Mumineen, as you know, that with Husain there will be 72 martyrs 72 pieces in the tray, 72 martyrs with Husain. Hasan at that time told Zainab, my end is now near. Call my brother Husain. Husain hurriedly came to Hasan Imam. Hasan and Husain, they was only born 11 months apart, had spent their entire life together. On Rasulullah's lap on one side, Hasan, one side, Husain. Throughout their life together, going to Hajj together, on every occasion together. Now Husain sees that Hasan is departing. Hasan and Husain embrace. Both are weeping. Hasan says, my time is now coming to an end. I remember that we were together throughout our lives. Now I will ascend to the heavens. And, oh my beloved brother Husain, amongst the enemies you will remain alone. I recall that Nana Nabi, our beloved grandfather, in his last hours, divided the heavenly hanud, the pieces of fragrance to put in the kafan. I remember that you did not go get a piece, that you will go to Karbala. I remember that our father Ali buried Rasulullah. We all buried Ali. Hasan, Husain, we buried Ali together. You will bury me. And in Karbala, there will be no one to bury you, Husain. Mumineen, Hasan and Husain are embracing. Hasan does wasiyat, conveys his wish to Aqa Husain. It is my wish, my will, that my daughter Abdullah marry yours. Hasan conveys to Husain that it is my wish that my son Abdullah marry your daughter Sakina. Mumineen, Husain fulfilled that wish. Promise, Allah's promise. He never goes back on his promise, fulfills his promise. Allah's wali, Husain, even in the battle of Karbala, in that calamitous time, fulfills the promise he gave to Hasan. Marries Abdullah with Sakina. Inshallah, we will narrate the zikr of Shahadat tomorrow on the day of Aashura. Mumineen, Hasan handed over the entrustment of Nubuwwat and Risalat that he had to Husain Imam. Imamat and Wasayat is Husain's right. That also he handed over. Hasan Imam also conveyed his wish that it is my wish that my qabr, that I should be buried next to my grandfather Rasulullah. Hasan knew if the enemies, dushmano, don't allow it, then my burial should be next to my mother, our mother Fatima. Hasan Imam then advised his sisters Zainab and Kulthum, come close to me. He said, Zainab, Kulthum, my wish, my dying wish to you is this, that Husain will go to Karbala, accompany Husain, never leave his side, and be forbearant. The enemies of Islam will snatch your veils in Karbala. Hasan is conveying his wishes, calls his son Abdullah, gave him a note and told him, Beta Abdullah, in this I have written my wish, my dying wish to you. Open this note in the most difficult of times. Azadarane Husain, Azadarane Hasan. Abdullah opened this note in Karbala, in which Hasan Imam had written that, Beta Abdullah, it is my wish that you sacrifice your life on your Imam Husain. Azadarane Hasan Husain. Hasan Imam took the hands of his sons Abdullah, Qasim, and handed over to the hand of Husain that they are your sons now, they are your servants now. Azadarane Hasan Husain. Hasan Imam became increasingly unwell, unsettled. He asked Hasan that take my bed inside. Husain Imam took Hasan Imam's bed inside, made it face the Qibla. Hasan Imam, in his last minutes, raised his hands and prayed, "Oh Allah, oh my Lord, I ask you for rahmat. Have rahmat on me. Have rahmat on my loneliness when I face you. Have rahmat on my qabr." Husain Imam placed his hand under Hasan Imam's chin, prayed the kalima la ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Aliyun Waliyullah, عدة لهذا الموقف ولما بعده من المواقف. This kalima, a provision for this time and for all the times and stations that will come after this. Husain embraced Hasan Imam. Hasan Imam's divine soul ascended to the highest heavens. May Allah's salawat and salam shower upon Hasan and Husain. Ya Hasan, Ya Husain.
Hasan Husain,
Imam Hussein,
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 Hasan Husain.
Imam
आज इमाम हसन का मातम है, आज इमाम हसन का मातम है, सरवरे सब्ज तन का मातम है, सरवरे सब्ज तन का मातम है, आज इमाम हसन का मातम है, जिसका टुकड़े हुआ जहर से जिगर, जिसका टुकड़े हुआ जहर से जिगर, उस इमाम ज़मन का मातम है, आज इमाम का मातम है, आज इमाम हसन का मातम है, हसन हुसैन, 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 या 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 हुसैन.
Daran Hasan Husain. May Allah's salawat shower upon Hasan Husain. The Khamsat Athar, Panjat and Pak, Aimmat Abrar, their successors, the Imam, and their Duaat Akhyar. By their hurmat, their virtue, their wasila, may Allah Ta'ala return us to the heavenly abode. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'ana laradduka ila ma'ad. Mumineen, whatever virtuous words I may have spoken in this majlis, I attribute to my Aqa, my Mawla, Bawaji Sahib, my Mufid Ala, to his successor, the Zaman, Khalifatu Imam Zaman, Syedna Taher Fakhruddin. Whatever errors I am solely responsible for which I seek forgiveness and say, أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات.